Hello, how are you? My name's Paul, and my only claim to fame is that I have worked in the music business my entire life, going on 40 years now. And over the years, when I've shared stories about the business and people I've met and things that have happened, a lot of people have said to me, "Why don't you write a book?" But truth is, I'm not that disciplined. So recently, a friend of mine suggested that I try a channel, a YouTube channel. And I thought, yeah, I can do that. I've done a few posts like this for Facebook, and I'll give it a whirl. So you, as you are watching, are the first recipients of what is to be known as Come As You Are, a channel of reminiscences going back from the beginning, and we'll start there in a minute, till now, because I'm still involved in the consulting end of the business, although I haven't worked in a record company for a while. But I have had a career that started behind the counter at retail, and I was briefly in South Africa, an owner of my own label. Moved to Australia many years later and ended up the managing director of Universal, which became the number one company in the country. And then again, I owned my own label and have now kind of gravitated to consulting. So I'm still amongst it. And the reason I'm still amongst it is because I love it. Over these next coming weeks, I will share insights or experiences about people I've met who I didn't like. But over the time that I've worked in the business, I've often had to pinch myself and think, shit, they're actually paying you to do this, bud. And truth be known, I would have done it for nothing because I really love music. I think music changes the world. Music can save your life. I had an instance in my life where a tune saved my life. So all of these stories that come to me from time to time, I'll share with you. They won't necessarily be in chronological order, but they will be stories. And I hope you enjoy it. So the idea here is that you just take some time out, put your feet up, get a coffee, whatever it is you feel you need to help you hang loose, and get off on the stories. I'll do one a week, so you won't get bored with it, and I'd love to know what you think. So without further ado, let's get this going. And it starts when I had just left school. 1977. Now, for some of you that are watching, you're thinking, shit, that's just after they invented the wheel. But I was in a situation where I had school, which finished in December, and then in July, because we're talking about South Africa, all kids my age had to go to the army. And I had a call up for July of that year. So I had 6 months where I had to find some work. And I went to this rather fancy department store in the middle of town called Garlics. And it just by luck secured a job working at the cigarette counter. And I thought, it's good enough. I could do this for 6 months. But I'd been there a couple of weeks, and I realized I had a record bar there, and I very quickly thought, I think I'd rather work in the record bar than sell cigarettes, because I don't even smoke. So we had a supervisor who used to come past every morning and go to each of the departments around the shop and find out what your turnover was for yesterday and stuff. And when he came to me the one day, I said to Mr. Boddington, is there by any chance an opening in the record bar? And he said, funny you should ask, because there is. Someone's just left. I said, well, look, can't you let me work there for 6 months? He said, well, look, go downstairs, talk to Karen who runs it, and see how you get on, and I'll talk to her later. So when my tea break came, I went down to the record bar, and there was Karen, very pretty, probably 4 years, maybe 5 years older than me, great body, and how do you describe them? Magnificent breasts, that's all I can say. And they were so magnificent that she caught me looking at them. And instead of getting upset with me, she pulled her t-shirt tighter across her chest and said, well, look, why not have a good look, and then you can get that over with, and we can decide whether you want to work with me or not. So we had a bit of a laugh, and we hit it off, and she said, yep, fine. I'll speak to Mr. Boddington. You can start next week. So all of a sudden I was in the music business, in retail. And our record bar was pretty funky. Karen and I had this arrangement where she would deal with the male customers and I would deal with the females. And it worked a treat. We sold lots and lots of records. And one day I was on my own in the record bar, and this guy came in, long-haired guy, young, older than me, but young, and very broken English. And through our little chat, I discovered he was from Argentina, Argentina. And he was on a Garupa tour bus. And they were staying in the Carlton Hotel, which was attached to this shopping complex called the Carlton, where Garlics was. And those days, when people bought or wanted to buy a record, they would come and sit at the bar. There were stools on the other side of the counter. And on this side, there was a row of turntables. And you sat on that side with a set of headphones, and the person working in the record bar would put the record on and then take the needle and put it down on a track, move it to the next track, and if you liked it, you bought the record. That's how we sold records. And so this guy, I tried to find out what he might like, but he just said, no, anything. So, okay, I walked around the bar, got a pile of records out, in fact, stuff that I would like, that I thought that he might like because we were, a similar age, and I started playing. And everything that I played him, by the second or third track, he went, yep, put this side. So I put it that side, played him something else, yep, put it that side. Eventually, he had a pile of about 30 records. I thought, this is choice, We're going to make some moolah here today. And I was running out of things to play him eventually because, I didn't quite know what else I could suggest. And then I saw the Evita soundtrack, double album. And it had a track on there called Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. So I thought, Argentina, let's give it a go. So I play the track, and he's sitting listening, and the verse comes in first, and then the chorus, where she sings, Don't cry for me, Argentina. Not quite as well as I do it, but, that's how she sang it. This guy ripped the earphones off. He looked up at the sky and went, Argentina! And ran out the record bar. I thought, for God's sake, what was that about? 20 minutes later, he comes back in, but now he's got 35 other people in tow. And he's the one in the group could speak English. He said to me, This guy is insisting we come here and listen to something. What is it you want us to hear? So I said, oh, okay. So I put the Vita back on and I played it through the sound system in the shop. Same thing. But this time, when it came to Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, the entire group screamed out, Argentina! They were ripping at their clothes. They were crying, Argentina! And I told them, this is about Eva Perón. Ah, Eva! They went berserk. Every single person bought a copy. Every single one. I made more money there in about an hour's worth of trading than we normally did in, say, half a week. It was unbelievable. And it was my taste for things to come later on. I didn't know at that stage I would have a career in the music business. I still had the army to think about. But it was the first time I realized what music means to people and what it can do for people. And I thought, if I ever get the chance, I'm going to inquire about a job in the music business when I finish the army. But for now, I've got 2 years conscription to think about. So, that's the end of the first episode of Come As You Are. There's lots and lots and lots of stories, and I'm not going to do them in chronological order. And as you can see, the production values here won't win me an Oscar. They won't even win me a Brian or a Mary. But the idea is that we sit down and have a monologue. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but you're far away. And you just hang out, listen to the story. I'll talk shit for a few minutes and come back next week. And you tell me what you think. So, I'm Paul. Come as you are. Come as you are this week and next week and the week after that. Until then, see you later.